Okay, sorry guys, we're recording again. So one thing we need to talk about with cell specialization is we need to talk about, first and foremost, why cells in unicellular and multicellular organisms are small. So we've talked about diffusion and osmosis, right? You guys just did a lab on that. Diffusion is the movement of particles from high to low concentration. Osmosis is the movement of water from high to low concentration, right? Across the membrane. Now here's the deal with why different cells are very small. All cells are small, right? It's not like an elephant cell is a lot bigger than an amoeba, right? An elephant just has more cells. So cells, cell motion is ideal over very small distances. So diffusion and osmosis are efficient over small distances. If the distance, the particles, the waste, and nutrients have to travel inside and outside a cell is too long, then a cell can't function properly. All right? So diffusion takes several minutes, even over distances of millimeters. And this is too long for cellular processes to occur, because cellular processes have to occur almost instantaneously. So if cells weren't small, life processes wouldn't be able to be carried out, and the organism would die. So that's why cells are small. All right, cells also reproduce, right? So you guys got to see a couple slides like this when we looked at the microscope slides a few weeks ago. This is mitosis. So this is an example of cells replicating. You'll talk about mitosis more when you get to grade 10. But cells reproduce by copying their genetic material and splitting in two. This is called mitosis in unicellular organisms. And body cells of multicellular organisms also do this. So the purpose of mitosis is growth, maintenance, and repair. Right, so those three big things. So we want cells to grow larger. We want them to be able to maintain normal functionings, and they need to repair themselves as they get old and wear out or get damaged. All right, so mitosis is always occurring. Because of these different types of cells, cells can be specialized. So your body has different types of cells that perform different functions. They all have the same genetics. They just express their genetics differently. So similar cells are organized into tissues and have similar functions, right? So blood cells, skin cells, marrow, muscle tissue, connective tissue, epithelial tissue, which is skin cells kind of below your, just below your top skin layer, nervous system tissue, right? So these are all organized into tissues, and these all make different organ systems. So they all have slightly different functions, and they express slightly different features. All right, I'm going to talk about plant tissue today, and then we'll talk about human tissue after we do the frog dissection. So plants have three main organs that have interacting tissue. So plants have organs as well, and their main organs are leaves, roots, and stems. Plants also have tissue. So they have leaf tissue that houses chloroplasts. They also have cuticles, or waxy cuticles, that are above the leaves, and that keeps them from drying out, right? So that's why leaves are shiny and they have waxy properties. They also have transport tissue, and you guys know that as xylem and phloem. So that's kind of like the arteries and veins of plants. So plants don't have organ systems, but they do have organs and tissues, okay? So again, you might want to take a look at this in your textbook, page 123, 124. That should help. So the photosynthetic / storage tissue is the green leafy tissue. So green photosynthetic tissue that's found in leaves and stems create food from sunlight. This is where chloroplasts are held. And inside the leaves, you have your vacuoles as well. So the sugar that gets produced from sunlight gets housed in the green tissue, in the leaves, or in the stems, in the vacuoles, right? So you guys have already learned why plants have large vacuoles. This is why. So you're going to have that photosynthetic / storage tissue in the green leafy parts of plants. On top of the green leafy parts are the protective tissues. So most plants have a waxy cuticle layer around their leaves and stems to prevent water loss, and that keeps unwanted pathogens or bacteria or viruses or anything that might harm the leaf itself. That keeps them out, right? It kind of acts like our top layer of skin. So bark is also a type of protective tissue for larger woody plants. All right, so transport tissues, the xylem itself transports water. Okay, so you can see this is xylem tissue and this is phloem. So these are kind of like arteries and veins in the body. So the phloem transports sugar and other nutrients. Xylem primarily transports water. Okay, so you should know that for plants, right? So you've got storage tissue, protective tissue, and transport tissue. Plants don't have organ systems. Now, animals and other eukaryotic organisms do, of which we're an animal, right? So organ systems will react to the environment and they interact with each other as well. So they react to changes in the outside world and rely on each other for survival. So I'm going to talk mostly about this later in the week. And we're going to start with the digestive system. But I'm going to do that after we do a frog dissection. So this is the lecture that you're going to need for Tuesday. Wednesday we'll do a frog dissection and I'll give you an assignment. Anyway, that will be it for today. Quick lesson. I'm sure you guys will have questions about how science is going to look for the next few days as well. So we're going to end it there. Bye now.